Win.
Okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone, we're here for
Sony.
part 2. Do we want to call it part 2 or just want to call it Sony?
Let's just call
Sony.
it Sony.
Okay, we're
Let's
here
just call
for
it Sony.
we're here
it's a lot
for
less complicated.
2016.
discussion about the Sony conference at E3 2016. Microsoft should have been out before that.
By the way, David,
Huh? What'd I do?
Dylan,
Brett is on camera. Duty.
This is Timing Apple.
you
Duty.
make
With the
ourselves
news.
every time anyway, so I'm
Duty.
gonna call you out this time.
really
You don't have a news desk.
I know, this is like a week late too. Like, I think exactly. Today's Tuesday? No. For more than a week. Oh well. Anyway.
carry on.
So,
Let's
yeah.
try to keep this one under 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Sony conference. And Sony... You see, I was thinking about actually making this my favorite, because he just claimed that Microsoft was his favorite in the last one.
Not
And
my favorite. The best.
I kind of wanted to say...
The
When I first saw Sony,
best.
I kind of wanted to say that one was the best, but I'm having a hard time deciding.
I enjoyed Sony the most.
Sony, I liked all the announcements that they had, but they still annoyed me at the beginning. They started out the conference. Granted, this wasn't necessarily a bad musical performance like Ubisoft's, but they did start out with an orchestral, like, musical piece, which the song was nice, but I really wanted to see the games.
Yes, I get to the point now.
I mean, when Ubisoft did, it wasn't even music that I liked. So, like, the whole time I was like, okay, that's good. They're dancing. There's giraffes. Let's get to the games.
Giraffes.
Yes. Did you not see the Ubisoft?
Giraffes
I saw
are
the Ubisoft,
awesome.
I guess I missed the musical.
Okay, we're
Oh,
not...
that's right. I showed up with yours, and I was like a minute late.
Yeah.
Giraffes
That's
don't
right.
cry.
Okay, well, we'll talk more about that when Ubisoft happens. So Sony starts out
Right.
the conference with an orchestra playing. We don't know what song they're playing at the time, but we later find out that it's a song from the new God of War game. There's actually going to be a new God of War coming. However, since it's just called God of War, we don't know if it's actually like continuing the series or it's
Which
a reboot.
really gets confusing whenever you stop to think about the fact that he's a Viking now, and he has a son.
Yeah. So the trailer, you don't know it's God of War. The trailer starts out with this kid, he's playing in the snow, and all of a sudden you hear this man's voice in the background. It's
This,
like, boy, get over here.
voice.
Like, I'm hungry. Did your mom teach you to hunt? And he's like, yes. Then he steps out of the shadows, and it's Kratos with a beard. And everyone flipped out.
It's Viking Kratos. He now has a fucking axe.
Yeah, he carries around an axe.
And he can magic the axe by throwing it and teleporting it back to his hand.
Yeah, he can do that too. He's still as brutal as Kratos ever was, apparently.
But with a son.
Yeah, he has a kid now, apparently. Which, I guess, since he's still white, this must
David,
be his...
you can't just ask people why they're white.
No, I mean, he's like ash white. The whole curse thing. He's still that same color, so this
still has the red markings. It's...
I think the red markings were there even before they got the ashes on. I think that's just I think that's just like... Yeah. Tattoo.
Yeah, well.
So, I think this is actually a continuation. He just sort of... After he killed all the Greek gods, he just...
He said, fuck this, I'm gonna find some more gods.
Yeah, he just moved to a different country because there's nothing left here and wanted to start his life over again with a family. Or maybe he accidentally made a family.
Or he just adopted the kid, or something like that.
I don't know. I think it's I think it's a continuation myself, but some people think it's a reboot, but we don't know. But he has a kid now, and it's hinted that it's now going to be Norse mythology rather than Greek mythology. So, yeah, a lot of things are going.
What do they call that giant monster that he was fighting? Because he said it was a troll. Those aren't in Greek.
I don't remember exactly them calling it anything.
I remember them calling it a troll.
Okay, well, it was a troll.
Anyway, yes.
So, yeah, everyone got excited for that trailer. I thought it was cool. I still have yet to finish any God of War besides one. You started to, though.
I started to, yeah.
Yeah, so but we've already been spoiled. We know that the gods die.
Yeah.
We know that Kratos kills them all. They had it coming.
Everybody.
He kills everyone. But,
Also, you say they had it coming. The reason that he was killing all the gods is because they took his powers. But they took his powers because he was declaring war on them. Beginning at 2, like, they straight up say, Don't march on Athens, that's kind of our city. Fuck you, I'm destroying Athens.
they had it coming. The gods are jerks.
Continue.
But I think it's cool. I would like to finish the other God of War games before that comes out. Hopefully I can do that, and apparently we have plenty of time, because this is once again, this is another game where I found a little bit more information in an interview later after the conference. Apparently, we're not going to be getting this game anytime soon. So, I have plenty of time.
Like, all they have developed right now was that demo.
They probably have a bit more than that, but that's probably
As
all
far as we know.
the clean footage they
As far as-
have. Like,
as far
after
as
that,
we
it's probably
know.
just...
It's wireframes attacking things.
Yeah. So, I should have plenty of time to finish the other 5 God of War games, because there's 3 more console ones. There's God of War 2, 3, Ascension, and then there's the 2 PSP ones that I have on the PS3 with the collection. I just need to get Ascension, which I don't even know if you need to actually get Ascension, because, like, besides 1, 2, and 3, the rest are just prequels. Anyway, yes, that's God of War. Let's stop talking about God of War. Let's go to something else. Okay, Dylan, you should talk about this, because you're more excited about this than me. Days Gone.
Days Gone. I'm hyped for that, actually. It
I
looks
already
like...
forgot what it was.
God damn, dude, we told you about it 15 minutes ago.
It's the zombie one,
It's
Brett.
the zombie horde.
Think World War Z.
Oh, I was thinking about the other one I was forgetting. That one I remember.
The
Farpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Can't talk about
so
that
Days Gone, I don't know if it is, but it looks like it's from the guys who made Last of Us.
No, it's not.
It
I'm
looks
pretty sure
like
it's not.
It looks like it's from them.
No, because that's Naughty Dog. I don't think Naughty Dog's making this.
I don't think so. But it just looks like a very beautiful game. And we don't really know much about it other than there are zombies and it's going to be World War Z style survival. Don't really know what
He
else
rides
to
a
say about it,
motorcycle.
other than I'm looking forward to it.
There's a motorcycle.
Yeah, there is a motorcycle, and you get to drive it. We do know that.
They actually,
Forgot about that.
There's two instances where they showed off Days Gone. At first, they showed the footage more in the middle of the conference, but near the end.
Oh yeah, that's right. Then they showed the gameplay.
Yeah, they showed a person actually
I
playing
forgot
the game.
that. I forgot that was separated into 2.
Yeah, and there apparently
Yeah.
you have to go up against like a mass of zombies.
And he somehow had enough ammo to take care of all that.
I know, right? Well, they probably ran out. But like after that, there's like zombies crawling up
Yeah,
everywhere.
there was like a cinematic camera transition. He's saying, "Come on!" And as it's panning out, you just see hordes of zombies coming from every direction as he's stranded on what looks like a silo water tank of some kind.
I don't know how you get out of that.
Yeah. Random helicopter.
Yeah, that's what happens. Gotcha. All right, so that Days Gone.
Yeah, there wasn't too much that we could really talk about in that. I'm looking forward to it.
The Last Guardian. They finally put out a release date for The Last Guardian.
We don't know why it's called The Last Guardian anymore.
We are finally getting The Last Guardian October 25th of this year. Finally. And yeah, Dylan said, for a while, at least we thought, I don't know what the common consensus was, but we thought that the big bird cat creature thing was a guardian.
The Griffin. Hippogriff.
It wasn't a griffin.
Hippoceraph, whatever we want to
That
call it.
creature thing
Yeah.
was what was
guardian.
considered a guardian in that world, I guess. But then they showed another one of those creatures in the trailer fighting the creature that's with the kid. So maybe the kid's the guardian? I don't know. But they showed off basically.
Maybe we don't know what the Guardian is yet.
Maybe it's the place.
Maybe.
The Traveler.
Yeah, it's the Traveler. We're gonna walk around, we're gonna find a giant fucking sphere.
Completely different universe.
How do you know?
All I know is it's probably going to be somewhere. Okay, so these are the people making this game. The same people that made Eco and Child of the Colossus. While it's not directly mentioned in the games, there's evidence in both games that they are connected to each other. So I'm guessing that this is probably going to be connected in some way to them. I just don't know how, but they might be. So yeah. But yeah, they showed off that trailer where they showed off another one of those bird creatures, but it was like fighting the good bird creature. They mentioned that the creature will not always do what you tell it to do.
I kind of assumed that. It is its own AI, it's just sort of...
I'm trying to think of anything else that was mentioned in the trailer. I was just excited that we got the release date finally, because I'm hyped, I'm excited, I loved Eco, I loved Shadow of the Colossus, I keep trying to get them to play it, they won't, you assholes.
Little.
Ico takes 2 hours! 2 hours! To beat. That's all it takes. There's a trophy for it, so it must be possible.
Listen, there's also a trophy for beating Metal Gear Solid 4 on the hardest difficulty in under 5 hours without using special
So
items.
it's possible!
with special items on easy.
I can tell you,
difficulty.
Eco is not that hard. It's not going to be that level of hard to beat. It's just a few
Anyway.
puzzles,
Yeah.
and you escape the place with your girlfriend. I think. We don't really know what she's
It's her
saying
sister.
half the time. I don't think so.
You sick bastard.
She was there before you were.
Anyway, continue.
Continue. Everyone should play Eco and Shadow of the
Rant
Colossus.
later.
Great games! Okay, and then next they talked about... You know, I have Horizon Zero Dawn. Should we
At the
wait?
very top, but you seem to skip it.
Well, that's because I don't remember where it was in the actual conference. Should we just wait
Why
till...
didn't you write these in that order?
Because Horizon Zero Dawn got its release date before the conference started.
Yeah, well.
Let's just talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. They did show a trailer in the conference, though, right? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
that gameplay footage.
Okay.
of it.
Well, before... I think I mentioned this in actually a previous video, too.
Move, Birch. Get out of the way.
Oh, yeah, the trees.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, hold up. So, we know...
Oh, trees are going to be a collidable thing. Nope, never mind.
So
trees are not a problem.
Horizon Zero Dawn, that's the game with the giant robotic dinosaurs, in case anyone forgot what that was. That's coming out February 28, 2017, and they showed a trailer which showed more...
I don't know if you'd call it a trailer, but...
They showed more
a
gameplay,
Yeah.
because like in the first time they just showed you combating a giant robotic T-Rex. Now, it actually sort of gave away a little bit about what's the conflict is in this world. Apparently, like, there's some corrupt mechanical beasts that are going around corrupting other mechanical beasts, which is apparently
And as far as we can tell,
bad.
being corrupted means that they're hostile beyond any real reason.
Yeah, something like that.
That's about
They
what
have
we can
rabies.
tell. Basically.
And apparently you can train some of these creatures, not the plagued ones, but like regular
Or you
ones.
can hack the creatures to be on your side, basically.
Yeah,
By stabbing it in the head with a stick.
yeah. And then hacking it, because that's how hacking's done.
Yes.
Anyway. And you can have
And then
them...
you can use those mounts to collide through trees.
Yeah, so apparently like with the mounts
They're
that they
fucking bulldozers.
got in the game, you can just run through anything no matter what. So that's cool. Yeah, they showed that off. They showed you fighting the plague guy. That was the highlights. It still looks cool, and I'm still excited. That game needs to come out sooner.
Yeah.
But,
Well, no. Let's not pull a Unity here.
okay, yeah.
Let's not pull an Assassin's Creed Unity.
Okay, fine. But it needs to come out because I
Yes.
want to play it.
Yes.
So the next thing was Detroit Become Human. I guess we didn't get a release date on that because I don't have it written on here.
I don't really know what to think about that. Because the trailer that they had was a little hard to follow.
So, here's a little history. What the concept for Detroit Become Human actually started out as a proof of concept trailer that the makers, I think their name is Quantic Dream, but they made Heavy Rain. And they made this basically proof of concept footage about how high they could get the graphics on, I think, the PS4 they were doing it, or was it the PS3 they were doing it? I think it was the PS3 actually they made this trailer for. I could be wrong. For one of the consoles, they're making this trailer basically proving how high and the detail they could get the graphics to look. But they said they weren't going to make it a game. Well then, I think it might have been last year, they actually showed a trailer that says, hey, we're making this a
fuck that
game.
shit.
And then they showed off more detail about what it's going to be this time. So, Detroit Become Human, if you've played Heavy Rain, then you're a little familiar with how this is going to go. This is more text-driven game, but there's plenty of decisions that you can be made in this game. So, like, each scenario can happen, like, several different ways, depending on your decisions up till that point, and how you go about getting there. And if it's anything like Heavy Rain, it's going to have several different endings as well. One with minimal changes, one where everyone dies. Because there was an ending in Heavy Rain where everyone died. I'm telling you.
I really need to play that game.
Yes, you do! I didn't see that.
I have never seen gameplay footage of it.
I haven't seen the ending where everyone dies. At least I believe there was, because I
I'm
know
gonna-
everyone
I'm
has the
gonna do
ability.
it.
I know everyone has the ability to die.
I'm gonna find that ending.
But I think I got the best ending. I got a pretty happy ending. No one. Well,
No one
I'm
good
gonna
died.
stop talking about
Okay.
that because it's really easy to spoil these games. But Detroit Become Human, in this world, this company has manufactured these robots that pretty much look identical to human, except for like in their temple right here, they've got this blue light, and that's what
Yeah.
usually gives them away. And of course, they're also a bit more wooden than humans would be because
Well, that one guy seemed pretty fluid.
well,
The one who was holding the child off
I know,
the
but that
other
one
building,
you could consider was probably one of the. Because see, the problem with this game, the problem with what's going on is that some of them are starting to become
self-aware.
not really
they're
not
already
really self-aware, but just they're starting to experience emotions because one of the robots, I mean, did that. They broke away from the conventions and could basically be mistaken for a human with the amount of emotions that they actually have. I think I'm sort of gathering this all from combining both trailers I saw together, the one with the girl and the one with the dude.
I forgot about the one with the girl.
That was the original one because that showed the
really?
girl character was the robot that was being taken apart in the original proof of concept footage. So like, she only survived because she promised she wouldn't do what she was doing, like actually showing emotion and stuff. But then I guess she starts doing it anyway.
Lol.
I guess it depends on your choices though. But the trailer they showed here focused more on this robot that was sort of like a detective, I guess, where he
like
was
a hostage situation negotiator sort.
Yeah, he's trying to coax this other robot
Who had just murdered a mother and father and is now holding the child at gunpoint at the edge of a
Did he murder the
building.
mother and the father?
Yeah, it showed their bodies.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they got him out.
No.
Okay, well, yeah.
And also a couple officers.
Yeah, so basically what the good robot's trying to do is get the child away from him. And it shows several different ways this could go out depending on the choices that you make.
Sometimes the child died, sometimes you sacrifice yourself to save the child. Sometimes you save the child but kill the other robot. Sometimes you betray the other robot in such a way that you get him to drop the weapon, but then he gets taken out by snipers, so you can save the kid. It
just goes on and on. Basically,
every kind of way of ending.
Yeah, any kind of way that it could go, which is basically how Heavy Rain went. And I haven't played Beyond Two Souls, but they also made Beyond Two Souls, which I'm assuming went the same way. But I really enjoyed Heavy Rain, so I'm actually really considering getting this. I especially like the subject matter of like the robots. I wonder if one character that you can play as is human. I wonder if there's a human character that you can play as, because like with Heavy Rain, there were 4 different. It was all about solving a murder, but you had the suspect, the reporter, the FBI worker, and the private eye, the FBI agent, I guess I should say. So you were basically experienced this through their 4 eyes, and apparently it was heavily hinted.
Are they all one eye?
No. But apparently it was strongly hinted that one of them is the killer.
Oh.
Um,
So you experience literally their eyes. You don't have any knowledge of the characters?
no, I mean, you learn about the characters as you play.
Well, as you play, yes, but... Like, you don't go in knowing this one guy is the killer.
No, you don't know...
Like, periodically, you'll go and, like, check on the body, try to destroy evidence.
No, you don't even do that.
As I'm saying, it's like, you're literally just going, like, through their eyes as they interact with other people.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the game doesn't give you enough information until a certain point for you to actually figure out who did it. So yeah, Detroit Become Human. I'm actually pretty stoked for that. But but I think the point I was originally trying to make is that, of course, they're going to get the renegade, the one that works for the government, and I think it would make sense for them to also have a human character as well, and someone else, maybe the mastermind. But yeah, so that's Detroit Become Human. I'm excited. There's no release date for that though that I found.
You're excited that there's no release date?
No, I'm excited about the game. Moving on.
We're assholes.
Moving on. Resident Evil 7. I'm gonna admit.
Oh, let's go. Damn it, I thought you had it up on the screen.
I've only recently actually started collecting Resident Evil games because they
How
started.
many have you played?
None. Because they've been releasing. First, they released Resident Evil 1 on the PS4, and then they released Resident Evil 0 on the PS4. I have that collection, and then I bought Resident Evil 6. Haven't played any of them yet.
I forgot about Resident Evil 0. Where does that take place in their timeline?
Prequel.
It is
For
prequel?
1.
It is?
From my understanding, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I believe 1 was like the beginning of everything.
I don't know. I haven't played them.
Anyway, we'll figure that out.
But so,
Someday,
but
maybe.
basically, they revealed the existence of Resident Evil 7. We didn't know it was Resident Evil 7. We just apparently the footage that they showed was basically from this kitchen demo that was shown that I actually wasn't even aware of.
Kitchen.
Apparently, there was originally like this footage of what was called the kitchen demo, where you just went through this like haunted. Okay, remember the kitchen part of the trailer?
Yeah.
Basically
It's
that.
just that.
And then they went out of the room and actually showed more. It automatically gave Brett the chills because it reminded him.
Because it was like it goes and start. This is fucking PT. He gets up. This is still fucking PT. Starts walking around. We're in goddamn PT. The zombie shows up. Okay, we're not in PT anymore. Thank God.
It was revealed that it's called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. But the thing is, they did something clever by hiding the 7 within the name. Like the Roman numeral of 7 is like the VIL.
Yeah. I like
so
it.
I guess it's going to be called Resident Evil 7, or they could just call it Resident Evil Biohazard. I don't know. But
Well, because the demo that we found, it said Resident Evil 7 and Biohazard.
okay, that's cool.
So I guess that answers that question.
So yeah, it was really creepy. I don't know why that dude opened the pot though. I don't know what he expected to find. Remember, like there's this pot on the table, and he opened it, and it was just like a bunch of
What?
bleh, gross shit. And he was like, "Oh, that's
I don't
terrible."
know. Could have been a head.
I think it would have been
Never
better
know.
smelling if it was a head.
Probably been a little more enlightening.
But
I'm in a bad place.
the thing that's exciting about it though is it's gonna be PlayStation VR compatible. So that's gonna be
I have
great.
mixed feelings.
Yeah, it's like awesome. That's coming to the
It's
VR.
like, awesome. I don't want to do this.
It's like awesome. It's coming to VR. Fuck! It's coming to the VR.
You know what that means? We play.
Brett's gonna play it.
Brett plays Resident Evil 7.
I don't know. Resident Evil. I might be able to play that one.
And they also revealed that a demo. We just checked. The demo is still available. I thought it was maybe a limited time thing, but as of the recording, which is today's June 21st, it is still available.
To give you an idea of just how efficient we are, I said, okay, let's start downloading. Maybe it'll be done by the time we're done recording all this. We spent so long arguing with each other that it was done before we even started recording.
Apparently, I suck at Destiny.
All we're saying is the hunters are broken.
Whatever.
Okay?
Dylan fell down the stairs.
That happened a few days ago, though.
I still
It
hurt.
was funny.
I still hurt.
Let's not
keep
go
going.
too far off topic.
Yeah.
It was
It's cool.
Sunday.
So there's a
So
demo
it's-
available for 7. I think it's basically what they showed at the conference. I mean, it's obviously not... Well, I
I
mean,
hope they got a little more than that because not too much really happened.
I wonder if the
with
demo is actually VR compatible, because the VR's not out yet, but I wonder if, like, when the VR comes out and the demo is still available, if the demo's still available, will you still be able to play it with the VR through the demo?
Oh.
I'm getting the VR so we can try it out when it comes
Yeah.
out. Speaking of VR, that's actually next on the list.
that. I want to do it so bad.
Hold on, not yet.
VR
I wanna do it so
Superman.
bad.
Shush, not yet.
There's a
I know
roller
you're gonna
coaster.
punch me if I do it.
There's a roller coaster that uses VR, and you're Superman.
Okay,
I might ride it.
hold on.
I
Shush.
hate roller coaster.
So,
You get to fight Lex Luthor
the next thing they talked about...
on. Dylan fell down the stairs in VR.
Shut up for a
Can
second.
we make a VR game?
Brett,
Can you please?
Brett, we'll talk about this after the video. Just calm down.
No.
We gotta keep going. We're halfway done.
I'm gonna yell at you.
So, they talked about the PlayStation...
Do we need to pause the video? Do we need to pause it?
No, just wait for him.
That was so funny.
Are you
You
good?
good?
Oh,
Are you good?
You done?
shit.
Is VR me falling down the stairs really?
I'd platinum that.
Okay, so anyway,
Whew.
they finally released the release date for PlayStation VR, and it got me both excited and nervous because, okay, so they said it's coming out
How much money do
October...
you have for it, David?
Shut up. It's coming out October 13, 2016. We've known for a while that it's coming out in October. We just didn't know when. I was hoping it was more towards the end of October to give me even more time to pay it off. But it's coming out in early October, which, I mean, it gives me like a few weeks less to pay off, I guess. I'll probably still be fine. But I've had the launch bundle pre-ordered for a while. I've been slowly paying it off. And, but it's coming out October 13th, and I can't wait, but I gotta pay it off first. But I'm excited from all this stuff. So we'll go ahead and skip to the last VR thing. No, it's not the last, the second to last VR thing they showed, I think.
Yeah, it was the.
So, here's actually, surprisingly, everyone keeps asking, well, whenever conversation about E3 comes up, people keep asking me what was my most excited about thing, and everyone actually seems really weirded out by this, I guess, because people weren't expecting, because everyone's excited about Legend of Zelda or God of War. It's like, no. My favorite thing about this E3 conference was Batman Arkham VR.
He sat there and.
I was sitting there, just freaking out as...
He was sitting there shaking just shaking the whole time it was going. This is me. This is me. Yeah.
I can be Batman. That's how it ended, basically.
Yep.
I was like sitting there the whole time just shaking because the Joker was talking and they were still in the VR section. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe it, I can't believe it, I can't believe it, I can be Batman!
I can be Batman! What made it great was the fact that it was like, I can be Batman! He just got quicker and quicker as the sentence went on.
It was the thing I freaked out about the most, so that's gotta be the thing I'm most excited about that came out of this this E3 conference.
And the
because
thing is, I can't give him too much shit because the very next thing they showed, I was shaking.
Yeah, it was funny because like Dylan.
By the way, we kept it secret from him that we watched the conference.
It doesn't matter. Let's pretend you didn't watch it beforehand.
We were practicing.
Yeah. So
basically, what happened is like after the Batman VR thing was done, Dylan was like, "Okay, now let's see something interesting." And then the Square Enix logo comes up and then bing, and then he was like, "Yeah!" And then it showed that they're apparently making a Final Fantasy 15 like VR experience that I guess is going to be part of the PlayStation 4 version of Final Fantasy 15, where you can play as Prompto. And
why do you keep calling him Prompto?
Because that's how he's supposed to be read. Impromptu.
No.
Pronto.
Because his name's spelled T-O. It ends in T-O.
Can I call him Patrick? I don't know.
Why?
I was thinking of another name.
T-O.
Oh.
So anyway, it showed that basically you can play as him, and he can use his gun, and you can warp around everywhere and stare at the mechanic chick while you're driving across the landscape. I don't know if it goes deeper than that or not, but that's what they showed. But I was surprised whenever the Final Fantasy 15 stuff showed up in the VR section.
So happy.
I hope you can ride chocobos in VR.
Oh my god.
That would be cool.
Oh my god.
I
never thought about that.
Really? You didn't think about that?
Oh my god!
He's about
Are you ready to talk about?
So now I've got him freaking out. So
you really should have been there whenever you saw me.
Well then why didn't you wait?
No.
You missed it.
Anyway.
That was great.
They showed off 2 other games or things that were coming to the PlayStation VR. They showed off a full game called Farpoint, which I didn't remember anything about, so we watched the trailer actually before.
We keep forgetting Farpoint exists.
Well, we have Batman and Final Fantasy 15 VR.
I think we're a little excused.
So Farpoint, it actually doesn't look too bad. Apparently you're on this planet somewhere. You don't know where you are, and
this place probably isn't even on the star charts.
I mean, you have a gun, and there's...
And it's definitely a VR gun because it's sitting there doing
yeah, it's like wobbling all over the place.
And apparently you've got the Doom arm.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks interesting because it looks like a full-on FPS in VR.
In space.
In space. I mean, that's not necessarily...
Probably.
Well, in space, on the planet that we
Well, it's just interesting because it looks like a full-on game for VR. So I'm a little... I'm
And not just like some little, at best, horde mode.
Yeah, because while I'm excited for the Batman VR thing, I'm a little scared it's going to be very shallow.
Yeah.
By the way, the Batman VR thing is coming out in October, so they didn't even show gameplay of it at the conference. So I hope it's pretty far along, actually, because if it's coming out this year, they don't have much more time. We're guessing the Final Fantasy 15 VR thing comes out around the time of launch. They didn't specifically say, but we're guessing it's coming around that time.
Honestly, I almost feel like... Well, no, they wouldn't do that. Never mind, just keep going.
But anyway, Farpoint, it looks interesting. They didn't give us too much information about it beyond it's a game for VR. But it looks interesting.
Every time I hear the name, I keep thinking Far Cry.
They also revealed that Battlefront will be getting an update with this VR X-Wing mission. So whenever they started showing the trailer, I thought it was going to be a full-on VR Star Wars game, but no, it's just an add-on for Battlefront where you can fly an X-Wing in VR, which is pretty awesome too. I was excited about that too. And then the Batman thing came and overshadowed it, but that's pretty cool too. It's probably going to get me to buy Battlefront, because I didn't buy Battlefront, because that didn't look interesting to me. But now that it has a VR X-Wing, sure, I'll get it. If it's cheap, if it's like $40 maybe. $40 I'll buy it. $20 is better, but I'll buy it at $40, because then I get a discount at Best Buy. Anyway, so those were the VR things they showed off. This confused us actually next, because they went straight into Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, but it was in space, so I didn't know it was Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
But hey,
at least the players aren't flying around through the air.
They're flying in space.
They're not flying through the air.
True.
There's no air.
But yeah, you start out in a ship, and I don't know. Did it look on rails to you, or do you think they had full control of that ship during that sequence? I think it was on rails.
It moved like it was on rails.
Yeah. I don't remember that much about the flying around on rails sequence. I remember the grappling hook going over to people, kneeing him in the face sequence.
But we actually thought that might have been part of VR, but I guess it wasn't because they didn't talk about it being in VR because it was right after the VR section.
Yeah.
And they didn't give any kind of like signal. I was like, this is the end of the VR section, especially since it was a ship thing. So I mean, that usually is easy to do, but
yeah,
they basically showed footage of Infinite Warfare. You were in a ship, and then you got out of the ship, and then you broke a window in a space station, and then you got
everyone was sucked out.
And you're able to hear it.
Yeah, and you're able to hear everything.
And there's also a spark at the end of your gun whenever you fire.
That actually does make sense.
Oh, it does? Are you sure?
Well, they're having to propel it somehow, so that's just the gas escaping after the bullet.
Okay, fine. I don't know.
That's what a muzzle flash is. So.
I don't know anything.
As long as they've got like self-oxidizing gunpowder, I can see it working.
Okay, fine, whatever. I'm probably still not gonna get it.
I don't think gunpowder is self-oxidizing.
I don't get Call of Duty. Are you gonna get it, Brett? All we have
Jesse's is getting it, so yeah, I guess.
All we have is this blank look for a little while. Just hold on, I'm trying to copy it. Now he's just laughing.
I think I got it pretty good.
I didn't even see you. Now, according to my notes, they might have also talked about Lego. Oh, they did talk about Lego Force Awakens because they announced that the demo would be available for Lego Force Awakens on the PSN right after the conference.
Oh yeah, they did do that.
And then I played it, and I downloaded it and played it, and then I deleted it because it was basically just the first level. I guess it's the first level. I mean, it's what I expected. It's a Lego game. There's more cover. There was some cover-based shooting though, which I've never seen in a Lego game before.
Really?
Yeah, because you're playing as Finn and Rey, and you had these stormtroopers coming at you. There was like a sequence where it was like a cover-based shooter sequence. So I thought that was pretty cool that they've added that to Lego. So I guess Lego's expanded a bit more than I remember. That was a demo. I think the demo is still available. I don't see why they would take it out. Okay, we gotta end this quickly. I'm losing my voice. And the next thing they talked about was they had this music playing, but they weren't looking at the stage. So like we didn't know what was going on. I was like, this music sounds interesting. I want to see what's going on.
Lost it.
And then they showed it, and they showed a sequence. They showed a scene from a Crash Bandicoot game. And then as the dude was walking out, he had the Crash shadow coming off of him.
Ricky
I'm using my
Bender
voice.
lost it.
And he revealed that they are going to be remastering the original 3 Crash Bandicoot games for PS4.
Which guess what? Crash is going to be in a new game.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. But guess what game it is?
He's going to be in a new game. He's making another appearance.
He followed
Skylanders.
He followed suit with Spyro, as now he's going to be in Skylanders. I think he might be.
The world wept.
Well, kids didn't, I guess. This is basically.
The kids don't know. I don't fucking Crash.
Well, that's why they're doing this. They're trying to get kids more familiar with Crash Bandicoot, and then maybe they'll make a new game.
Maybe.
Because,
Hopefully.
well, they haven't done that with Spyro yet, so I don't know.
They're dying.
I
They're
need some
following
water.
street.
Yes, I am. I'm dying over here. So yeah, there's going to be Crash Trilogy Remastered, and then he's going to end up in Skylanders Imaginators, which comes out in October. And they didn't specify, but I'm assuming Crash is going to be exclusive to PS4 versions of the game, kind of like how Donkey Kong and Bowser was exclusive to Nintendo. Even though Sony doesn't own Crash anymore, Activision does. I think Activision owns Crash. I know Sony doesn't anymore, because it was a Naughty Dog thing, and I know they don't own it anymore.
It would be kind of weird seeing them on an Xbox.
Yeah. But, oh, the next thing they talked about.
Kind of happy for this.
We now know. So there's been several articles up
What is
until.
it?
When Sony gives you a blank check.
So
you
there's
get
a few articles,
What
as
is
everyone hopefully knows.
Stranded.
What? Huh?
Kojima was hired by Sony to make a game. He now has his own studio.
Everyone in the room except David had seemed to have forgotten that fact. Completely.
No, I realized what was going on whenever they brought Kojima out on stage.
No. Again, you were the only one who remembered that he was hired by Sony. The rest of us had forgotten that fact completely, and we all lost our shit.
I eat, breathe, and sleep games.
Yeah. Well, I know you had told us, but we had all forgotten.
I always forget it.
So Kojima walked out, and we all flipped our shit.
Yeah, so Kojima finally showed something of his new game. And what they
I'm still
showed
calling it the spiritual successor to PT.
was a naked Norman Reedus on a beach holding a baby.
Because when Sony gives you a blank check, you get your famous actor friend to do weird shit.
It was some kind of beach. There were dead animal corpses everywhere. There was these figures floating in the sky.
And there were
5.
And there was some invisible creature leaving handprints.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Apparently, there's a lot more symbolism to this trailer than what we saw. We were still trying to get past the fact of what is Norman Reedus doing on a beach, naked, holding a baby.
That's why I say it's going to be the spiritual successor to PT.
It's gonna be a completely different genre of game.
It can still be a spiritual successor.
I think it would have to be the same genre.
Not entirely.
I think it would. Because there's once again
It
another
has to do
game.
with Norman Reedus and dealing with the fact that his child was killed, potentially by his hands. I'm going to call it a
That
spiritual
might not have
successor.
been his child. We don't know where that baby came from.
They're definitely his crabs.
Oh yeah, there were crabs too.
I forgot about the crabs.
But that was another game where I found more information later in an article talking about sort of some of Kojima's ideas, and apparently there will be some way to fight back against things in this game. But apparently he's like gathering inspiration from the short story that he read where like man first invented a stick to keep things away from him, but then he invented a rope to help keep what he loved closer to him. So that could probably be...
You never read that article.
Yeah, he hasn't read that article yet. But you can sort of see that in the trailer where he has this cord hooked up to the baby. So that, I guess that is something that he cares about. I mean...
The umbilical cord on the baby.
Yeah, but it was connected to him.
Was it connected to him?
Yes!
I don't remember that.
We'll watch the trailer again, I guess. I'm pretty sure...
I just remember like the short bit of the umbilical cord hanging off the baby, you know, like is normal.
I'm pretty sure it was connected to him somehow. See, this was the weird thing about this trailer. There was even a scar on his stomach.
Like,
was
as if there was a cesarean.
Just say C-section, bro.
Nah.
But it's confusing because it's a guy, so we have no idea what's going on, really. Someone who looked more into it...
Because when Sony gives you a blank check...
You said that 3 times now.
I don't care, I loved it.
He loves that joke.
Yeah.
So, I want to know more about what's going on. So, I'm pretty sure more people have gotten more out of this
Apparently,
trailer than we did.
didn't that same article say it was going to be more of an action game than...
Yeah.
I said, I would love to see some gameplay, because I want to know what that entails.
We're not gonna get this game for a long
I
time,
don't
Dylan.
care, I'm just saying.
Alright, so...
Are we running out of time? Or
Moving
something?
on to the last thing. I mean, do we really have a time limit? Just until he goes to bed. So,
There's Brett. Brett could just push stop
Yeah,
right now.
could.
the last thing I've got on
He's
here
chaotic neutral, don't put it past him.
is something I wasn't expecting.
I was not expecting it, and it makes me happy.
So they started a trailer.
His outfit confuses me.
They started
But-
with the Insomniac logo, which got me a bit excited because I was thinking maybe it's a new Ratchet and Clank game, and then they showed the Marvel logo, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. And then it showed Spider-Man. So
Because reasons.
Insomniac's making a Spider-Man game.
But for some reason, the logo on his chest is white. That keeps throwing me off.
Yeah, his costume's a little different, just a little.
Yeah.
Just the spider's white for some reason.
It bothers me, but I'm still looking forward to the game.
Maybe it means more something to the comic people out there. I don't know, but yeah, there's a new Spider-Man game coming out.
I've liked the Spider-Man games, so
Spider-Man.
looking forward to it.
Anyway,
Anyway.
and that's the last thing on my
That's
list.
about it.
And yeah, I liked Sony's conference. I usually like Sony's conference mostly because like that's the consoles that I play a lot besides Nintendo.
I can be Proto!
I can be Batman. Yeah,
I
they
can
did
be
a great job.
Chocobo!
I gotta go on a roller coaster.
I don't know where he's getting this roller coaster thing from.
He said it earlier.
Yeah, but was he? Whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
It's a roller coaster, but you put on a VR headset, so it's like you're Superman.
Sony did a good job.
Anyway,
They had some good stuff. And next
that's it.
we'll be back later.
I see Brett's point as to why he said Microsoft was the best, but I still gotta say I liked Sony's best because they had the most games that
Brett may like experiences, but I like games, so more games.
I say
the
E3
better.
to me is more about the games. Personally, I liked Sony the best. But I see where Brett's coming from. With
I have a
Microsoft.
3-way tie. And I'll explain more why later.
I can't wait till we talk about Nintendo.
We should probably stop because
Yeah.
I've been trying to stop it for the last couple minutes. So we'll be
Bye,
back
everybody.
later. Bye.
Uh,